So guys, week one, it's done. My first week as a contract vehicle technician, or as the trade likes to call us, usually with a slight hint of disdain, a rent-a-tech, which if you think about it, sounds less like a skilled tradesperson and more like something you find on a questionable website. But anyway, how was it? Honestly, it was alright. Different, but alright. And given where I've come from, alright feels pretty good for me right now. My day starts around about 6:30 in the morning, which is half an hour later than before. That's when I'm pulling off the driveway. I've got about an hour and 15-minute commute each way. That's not exactly ideal. 110 miles round trip, door to door. My last job started at 7 a.m, but it didn't come with a 110-mile round trip attached to it. So, swings and roundabouts really. But here's the thing, the commute, it's actually not as bad as it sounds. I stick a podcast on, maybe an audiobook. It's quite a nice way to ease the brain into the day really, and by the time I roll into the dealership car park, it's usually around about 8 o'clock in the morning. And when I say car park, I mean that very loosely. You know the type of place. The business, it outgrew the plot about 20 years ago, but instead of moving somewhere bigger, they've just kept cramming more and more cars onto the pitch and the car park, like some kind of giant game of automotive Tetris. So every morning, the first challenge is always the same. Where the hell am I going to park the car without blocking somebody in? So once I've found somewhere semi-legal, I give Oi a quick 10-minute phone call, just a bit of normal life before stepping into the workshop. Then I clock on at 8:30, which compared to my last job actually feels quite civilised. So what am I actually doing all day? Well, mostly pre-sale inspections and repairs, nothing particularly complicated. Visual inspections mainly, oil changes, tyres, brakes, suspension, basically anything that I identify. The sort of work that keeps the wheels turning, literally. It's not exactly brain surgery. And coming from where I've been, diagnosing things nobody else could figure out, campaigns stacking up in the thousands, there's something quietly good about just changing a wiper blade and moving on. No drama, no pressure, no one breathing down your neck. Just do the job, finish it, get your next job. Now my previous workshop, that place was immaculate, no denying it. Everything was spotless, everything organised, completely state of the art. This place, a little bit different. Technically, yes, it's a main dealership. So it's got all the shiny brand signs on the wall outside, corporate posters about excellence and customer experience, but the workshop, cramped and dirty ramps, dirty benches, stuff laying around everywhere without a home. The chains on the workshop door, they've got about 15 years of grime built into them. Honestly, it needs emptying out for the weekend, blasting out with a pressure washer, and then somebody putting in an actual system of housekeeping. But as always, they're too busy. Too many cars, too much work. So everyone just works around the chaos. I feel like I should wipe my feet on the way out rather than on the way in. It is what it is, and to be fair, I've seen much worse. But the dirt, that's not actually the hardest part. The hardest part, at least initially this week, is the atmosphere. You see, when you walk into a workshop as a rent-a-tech, people already have that opinion about you before you've even picked up a spanner. They've seen blokes like you before. You're there just to fill a gap. Do the mundane work that nobody else wants to do. And the bit that really stings, I'm probably getting paid more than what they are. And they even think they know exactly what I'm earning based on the guy that was there before me. So yeah, there's always that bit of initial tension at first. There's 8 technicians in the place. Most of them, they're alright to be fair, but it takes about 3 days before people start softening up, before they'll answer little questions like, where do you keep the brake cleaner? Where do I get a service sheet from? Can I borrow that particular tool off you? 3 days for basic human acknowledgement. But look, I get it. I understand the dynamic. I've been on the other side of it. When it comes to lunchtime, I sit in my car. Not because I'm antisocial, just it gives me 30 minutes of quiet. My choice, my time. And if I'm honest, I'm not massively interested in workshop politics anymore, or even who's knocking off the girl in the valet bay. Some things, they never change in this trade, and some things you're better off not knowing about. Now, if you've ever worked in a garage, you're going to know this. Workshops, they run on hierarchy. Every single one of them. And this place, it's no different. There's about 3 lads there. They've not even acknowledged my existence all week. Not even a nod. And I understand why. They've got their heads down, trying to smash through their own work, trying to hit the bonus structure that they've built their whole lives around. mortgage, car payments, kids, everything attached to it. And when somebody new walks in, especially somebody temporary, it messes with the system a bit. Sometimes they look at me like I'm a nobody, just some bloke who wandered in off the street. And you know what? I genuinely don't care, because I'm not there for them, I'm there for me. And like I've said in my previous videos, I know what I've done in this job, I know exactly what I'm capable of. They don't need to know my story at all. And for now, I quite like it that way. So for the minute, right now, I'm basically one step above the apprentice. And weirdly, I kind of like it that way. I've got no responsibility, no management breathing down my neck, no meetings, no emails, just spanners and cars. And for the first time in about 15 years, I'm getting properly filthy again. Can't say I'm liking that. My hands and arms completely covered in grime. Clothes, they need washing every day. Proper old school mechanics. I'm not even sure I can call myself a technician anymore. Feels more honest if I say I'm a mechanic. And honestly, there's something quite freeing about that. So when it comes to the end of the day, the clock strikes 5, tools down, wash my hands, get back in the car. If the traffic behaves, I'm home in about an hour. If not, it's closer to an hour and 20 minutes. So, as before, I stick on a podcast or an audiobook, maybe make a phone call, or play the classic motorway game of how high I could get the MPG reading. Somehow, I've just got to entertain myself, anything to avoid listening to the news. So, week 1 over. It hasn't been a grind, well not yet anyway, it's just been different. And different, after everything that came before it, actually feels quite good. Because if you told me 6 months ago I'd be changing wiper blades in a chaotic little dealership, eating lunch in my car in the car park, worrying about where to park every morning, I'd have probably thought that sounded like a step backwards. But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like I'm breathing out. And if you're someone sitting in a job right now, especially in the trades, feeling like the routine is just drained the life out of you, sometimes the answer isn't some massive dramatic change. Sometimes it's just about stepping sideways. A different environment, different people, maybe a reset. So, week 1 down, no cape required. Let's see what week 2 looks like.